Hello my friends and welcome to another Tuesday of tutorial. I am Leonardo Pereznieto and today I will explain you one-point perspective in drawing. We begin by marking a horizon line that, as a general rule, is at your eye level, and on this a dot, which is the vanishing point. This is the most basic perspective. Here all the parallel lines visually will merge at the vanishing point, which is always in front of us. Let's sketch a straight road with buildings on both sides. I'm tracing guidelines for the rooftops and the bases of these buildings. And I make some lines that divide one building from the next one. One of the rules in one-point perspective is that objects get smaller and smaller as they are further away. How much smaller? That is indicated by the lines that meet at the vanishing point. I may change some of the heights of the building to make them more real, but I still have the guidelines. We can mark the windows on a close-by building and then bring the parallel lines to the vanishing point to know where the other windows should be. Same thing with the doors. We draw one door and following the line, we know exactly the height that the other doors should have. Let's sketch some other windows. And remember that the vanishing point, as a rule, is in front of you. And we will do something similar on the other side. Now, as the horizon line is at your eye level, the things that are above it, we see them from below, like in this case, the rooftops. While the things that are below the horizon line, we will always see them from above, looking down. I will explain you this concept more clearly with the next example. We mark the horizon line and on this, the vanishing point. And we will draw a cube that has one of its planes facing us. In order for this simple type of perspective with one vanishing point to work, the object has to have one of its vertical planes squarely facing us. We sketch an imaginary line from each corner to the vanishing point. If the object was tilted, then this type of perspective wouldn't apply. If the object was not facing us, then we would need a two-point perspective, which we will go over in another tutorial. We mark the base of the cube and go over the sidelines, and from the back corners, we sketch some lines to find the back side. Up to now, it is like this cube is transparent or made of wire. With a marker, let's go over the lines that we would see if it were solid. Summarizing the three rules of the one-point perspective, we know that objects further away look smaller. Therefore, the back plane of the cube is smaller than the front plane. And the parallel lines of the lateral planes will converge at one vanishing point. And lastly, as this cube is below the horizon line, which is at our eye level, then we see it from above, looking down. That is why we can see the top side. Now I am making another cube, but this time above the horizon line. We sketch it in the same way as the last one, beginning with the square and projecting all the corners to the vanishing point. Then a horizontal line for the top lead. On the other cube, it was for the base. And we project the two corners down to find the opposite one. That's the bottom edge of the back plane. Good! And we go over the lines that we would see if it were a solid cube. As it is above the horizon line, you guessed it. We are looking at it from below. And I want you to notice that the horizontal planes, the farther they are from the horizon line, they appear wider. More similar to a square, which is their real shape, while the planes that are closer to the horizon line appear thinner. Very good. Let's see how all this works in some photos and drawings. This one is pretty simple in that there are only a few parallel lines. If we trace them, they all meet in one vanishing point. This other one seems a lot more complex, but all the parallel lines that in reality would be perpendicular to our face, like in the lateral planes of the cube, all merge at a single vanishing point. This is a sketch by artist Piranesi. As he was an architect, he understood perspective perfectly. And the vanishing point is in front of us on the horizon. This is a more complicated drawing. However, we can solve it with the same principles. Now I want to show you an exception to the rule that the horizon line is always at our eye level. In this case, we are on a terrace on the rooftop of a building. Therefore, our eye level and the vanishing point are above the horizon line. Good! Earlier I made emphasis that the vanishing point is in front of us. But that doesn't mean that it has to be in the center of the drawing necessarily. That depends on the frame we choose. For example, in this drawing, our viewpoint and the vanishing point are toward the bottom right. But it works the same with all the converging lines at the vanishing point. That is all. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a like, share it to your friends, and subscribe to Fine Art Tips. And I will see you on Tuesday.